Hey, come here? Kumamoto is that Japanese city where a 400-year-old castle is still being rebuilt and where dinner might mean raw horse if you're feeling brave. 3 days gets you samurai history, an active volcano that decides its own schedule, and a gorge so photogenic the boat reservations vanish in hours. I mapped out the whole route in a template, so if you want it, the link's in the description. Spring means cherry blossoms at the castle and mild weather for standing at the edge of an active caldera without freezing. Day 1 is Kumamoto showing off castle under construction, a garden that compresses a 500-kilometer journey into a short walk, then covered streets where you decide how adventurous your dinner gets. Kumamoto Castle is one of Japan's big three, which sounds impressive until you realize you'll be viewing it alongside scaffolding and repair crews. The 2016 earthquake knocked down stone walls that had survived samurai battles and wars, so what you're seeing is history being actively rebuilt with traditional techniques. The main keep reopened in 2021, all 6 floors accessible, which means you can climb inside while cherry trees bloom in the moat below. Morning light hits the black wooden towers best, and you'll want to grab tickets online before the tour buses show up mid-morning. Suizenji Jojuen is what happens when feudal lords can't travel the famous Tokaido road, so they build the entire 500-kilometer journey in one garden. There's a miniature Mount Fuji, tiny ponds representing lakes, and the whole thing is designed to let you walk from Tokyo to Kyoto in under an hour. Cherry blossoms reflect in the pond, the gravel paths crunch under your feet, and pines shaped like clouds make it clear someone spent centuries on the landscaping. This is the calm after the castle crowd's quiet, intimate, and best experienced by walking slowly instead of racing through. Shimotori is a 510-meter covered arcade filled with izakayas, ramen shops, and the real reason you're here, basashi, which is raw horse sashimi. Kumamoto has been eating horse meat for centuries. It started during wartime scarcity and stuck around because people genuinely like how clean and lean it tastes. Evening is when the arcade comes alive. Steam rising from ramen bowls, neon signs reflecting off the covered walkways. Local workers filling the izakayas after 6. If raw horse intimidates you, try it grilled first. Also, bring cash, because the mom and pop spots don't take cards. Day 2 shifts from samurai to geology. You're heading into Japan's largest active volcano, where the crater opens when it feels like it. Mount Aso is the largest active volcano in Japan, with a caldera you can drive into, assuming the volcano hasn't decided to close the roads that day. This caldera formed from a massive eruption about 90,000 years ago, and the ground here is still very much alive sulfur in the air. Steam venting, the whole thing. Morning gives you the clearest views before clouds roll in, because afternoon weather in the mountains doesn't always cooperate with sightseeing schedules. Check the official website the morning you go. Crater access changes based on gas levels, and the volcano makes that call, not the tourism board. Nakadake is the active crater inside Aso, where you can stand at the edge and watch steam billow out of the earth when gas levels permit. This is one of the most accessible active volcanic craters in the world. You'll smell sulfur and see crater walls stained yellow and green from mineral deposits. The path to the rim is uneven and slippery, and the temperature drops suddenly near the crater, so you'll want layers and decent shoes. Access can close with almost no warning. Volcanologists monitor this 24/7, so if they shut it down, that's not bureaucracy, that's safety. The Aso Volcano Museum is where you learn why the ground beneath you has been angry for hundreds of thousands of years. Live feeds from crater cameras and seismic monitors let you see what's happening at the volcano even when you can't stand at the edge yourself. This is a solid backup if crater access is closed, or just useful context if you want to understand what you just saw up there. Budget about an hour. It's not huge, but the explanations are worth your time if geology is even slightly interesting to you. Day 3 is the visual payoff of Basalt Gorge, where Japanese gods once argued, followed by a hot springs town that doesn't have a convenience store. Takachiho Gorge is a narrow basalt canyon with 17-meter waterfalls, where rowboats drift past columnar walls that look like they were stacked by giants. Japanese mythology says the sun goddess Amaterasu hid in a cave here, plunging the world into darkness until other gods lured her back out. The gorge went viral on Instagram, which means boat reservations open 2 weeks in advance and morning slots disappear within hours. Arrive early to beat the tour buses that show up between 11 and 3 and park close because the far lots mean a 30-minute walk. Kurokawa Onsen is a preserved hot springs town where 30 rokons open their baths to outside guests, and lanterns light the river at night. The Nyuto Tegata pass gets you into 3 different onsen for 1,500 yen, which is rare because most towns don't let outsiders into their baths. Afternoon arrival gives you time to soak before dinner, and evening is when the lanterns glow and the whole place feels like pre-modern Japan. Book your ryokan weeks ahead for weekends, bring your own towel for onsen hopping, and buy snacks beforehand. There are no convenience stores here. 3 days in Kumamoto gives you a castle mid-reconstruction, a volcano that makes its own rules, a gorge out of mythology, and a hot springs town with 0 7-Elevens. I put the full route with all stops and map view into a template. Grab it from the description or pinned comment. Let me know which stop you'd prioritize if you only had 2 days instead of 3.